Information shared on the following program is for general information purposes only. It does not constitute legal, tax, investment, or other advice, nor is it intended to recommend any particular investments, products, or financial instruments. Always seek advice from your financial advisor, attorney, or accountant with regard to investment, legal, or tax questions.
Want to learn how to earn a 7% guaranteed rate of return on your money? So do I.
Welcome to the only show in the country dedicated to helping savers worry less about money, The Worry-Free Retirement, with your host, best-selling author and fiduciary, Tony Walker.
With people living longer than ever before, banks paying next to nothing in interest on your money, and the stock market positioned for a major correction, is it any wonder that internet ads, like this one we're going to talk about today, boasting of huge guaranteed returns on your money, are enticing more and more savers to fall for the old scheme if it sounds too good to be true. It probably is. And nowhere are half-truths such as earning guaranteed returns of 6, 7, yes, even 8% on your money misleading. They are hurting the very savers that we at Tony Walker Financial are trying to serve with products that can and will provide both principal protection and guaranteed income for life, something I like to call mailbox money. I mean, come on, folks, with short-term interest rates next to zero, do you really think that someone out there can guarantee you 7% on your money? Well, we're going to find out. But welcome, folks, to the Worry-Free Retirement. And before we cover in great detail how these advertised rates of return are legal to advertise and why, with the ever-popular dinner seminars ramping back up to promote them, I want to introduce to you a young man that at times seems way too good to be true for Tony Walker Financial, and that's America's favorite financial sidekick, mic'd up, ready to go, Mr. Aaron Orander. Good afternoon, Aaron.
Hey, good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Okay, Aaron, let me pose this to you. You and Jessica are trying to earn something on your bank money over there making 0.5%, and you see this internet ad guaranteeing 7% on your money. What's your immediate response?
My immediate response would be it probably is too good to be true.
Very good, very good. And we've got somebody in the studio today who I'm sure would probably agree with that. My favorite nephew, who's been in with us several times now in our new revamped studio here in Louisville, Kentucky, Mr. Wes Walker. Good morning, Wes.
Good morning, Tony.
I said afternoon. We're still in the morning here in Louisville. Apologize about that. Yeah, is everything going okay?
Yeah, no worries. How's things with you?
Going great, going great. And one reason I've got Wes in, folks, we've got some exciting news for those in the Lexington area. We'll be telling you about that in a minute. But also Wes in our offices at Tony Walker Financial. Of course, we do a lot of annuities. Obviously, we're registered investment advisors. We are fiduciaries. We have a lot of money invested with Charles Schwab in what we would call securities or investments. But we are known around the country for the amount of annuity work we do. So as you can imagine, Wes, when I see articles like this that we're going to talk about, this particular one in Kiplinger's, they too are questioning this 7%. What we're going to find out, folks, is, I like to say, it's a half-truth.
It's a little misleading, that 7% figure.
Yes. And you've been working, how many, I would say on a weekly basis, Wes, as someone that helps us monitor our current clients with annuities, how many people each week would you say have these income riders? We're going to learn about income riders today.
Quite a few people definitely have them. We'll talk also about what's called an income rider reset. I probably see 3 to 5 of those per week. But as far as contracts that just have an income rider attached to it, I'd say, half or maybe more definitely have the possibility for future mailbox money.
That's very good. And for those of you who missed last week's show, it was a humdinger for sure. We talked about accumulation annuities. That's the first use of an annuity. Today we're going to talk about, as Wes mentioned, something called an income annuity. And that's where you're hearing of these 6, 7, 8% rates of return. And while they are, quote, guaranteed, there is surely a catch. By the way, Aaron, if they would like to listen to last week's episode of the Worry-Free Retirement on the radio, how do they go about doing that?
All they got to do is go to soundcloud.com. Just type in soundcloud.com. And when you get there, there's a search bar right there at the top. Just type in The Worry-Free Retirement, click search, and you're going to see our awesome bobblehead. Just click on that and you'll find past radio shows.
All right. Well, thank you, Aaron. So let's kind of set the stage, and maybe people are tired of hearing about this figure, but it really does drive the narrative here. So right now, Wes, as we speak, you hear me say this a lot, but it is estimated that 10,000 people each day, not each week, not each month, 10,000 people each day are turning age 65. So what does that mean for that person out there who's retired or nearing retirement? Do you think the financial world has got them on the radar, yes or no?
An obligatory yes, I'd say.
So here's the thing, folks. If you're in that camp, actually if you're over 55, that tends to be the mark, and we work with retirees, so we tend to try to get our message out to those over 55 and above. But let's just say if you're over 55 years of age, here's who's after your money and who's peddling these guarantees of 7%. Well, obviously the insurance companies, that's who issues annuities, so they're touting these products. Obviously advisors such as us, we offer these products, and we'll tell you how to discern whether they're exactly right for you before you just rush out and respond to 7%. And then finally, the internet. So I know before we went on, Wes, I kind of showed you, Derek just Googled, good returns on annuities. I don't remember what he put in. All of the different annuity ads that popped up. It was like hundreds, I guess. I mean, it goes on and on.
I think Google's pretty endless in their search results, but it seemed like it was many pages of annuity ads through that search.
So we always wonder, I guess, with literally thousands of advisors in Kentucky that could sell annuities, all you had to have is a license, insurance license. With even the big boys, it used to be the big boys, I won't name the names, these huge companies, they wouldn't touch annuities. Now they're starting to sell annuities, so you got that going for you. Oh, there's even something proposed in the Biden tax law. They are looking to try to make it mandatory. I don't know if you saw this. This is pretty wild. Mandatory that the 401k administrators, those are the people holding on to the money, are going to make clients have options where they can put money in annuities. See, currently you can't get annuities in 401k plans. So it's probably the one time I think the government's onto something here. What the government's worried about, everybody's got all their money at risk. Same thing we're worried about with our savers. They don't have any options to guarantee money within the 401k with annuities and mailbox money. So they might mandate it, which that's bad that they're going to mandate it, but I think they recognize there's a real concern out there.
Well, if it were me, I would say in 1978 when they first came out with the 401k plan, that should have been an option all from the beginning. These defined pension plans that had gone the way of the dinosaur back then, there was really no option for guaranteed mailbox money. I don't see why they didn't put this in sooner.
That's really a good point because, like when my granddad retired, they got mailbox money, annuities, pensions, same thing. They took the pensions away and replaced them with 401ks, but didn't put the pensions back in the 401ks.
Didn't give the option to get guaranteed income.
That's I've been doing this 37 years. That just hadn't dawned on me until you said that. That's pretty cool. All right, so you might say, well, Tony, okay, come on now. How can anybody possibly advertise guaranteed returns of 6, 7, 8%? And you're saying they can't achieve them. Isn't that false advertising? Well, not really. And let me give you a demonstration of what too good to be true is that is really a half truth. Okay, Wes, I'll give you my first truth and you tell me, you're going to take my word a little bit, but okay, my height is 5'9". Would you say that's probably true?
Probably about right, yeah.
And my weight's around 190.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. And recently, I ran a 4.40. Quit laughing. What are you laughing at?
Oh, were you on a bicycle?
Well, no. Let's keep going with this. Your next question, because I just told you two truths. I'm a trustworthy guy. You're going to accept that as truth, but what's your next? Because that's too good to be true. You see my height and weight.
Sure,
it's physically impossible, but you might ask yourself, well, what were the circumstances? You see, I said that I just ran one. I didn't say I could run one.
You had just ran one. Maybe was it downhill?
Downhill, there you go.
Okay, yeah.
Keep going. It could have been downhill.
Was it maybe one of those escalators at the airport? You know how the moving belts, was that
it? Like the $6 million man?
Yeah.
Well, a 40-mile wind behind me.
Okay.
So it could have been possible. But if you would bank your wallet on me entering the Olympics and you're going to say, oh, this guy runs a 4.40, you're going to realize that ain't happening.
No way.
So under circumstances, what we're going to find out when we return, believe it or not, and you'll learn this. This is some good stuff, folks. Believe it or not, there are certain circumstances where an annuity could pay a guaranteed return of 7% on your money. You're listening to The Worry-Free Retirement. I'm Tony Walker. I'll be right back.
With 10,000 people turning 65 every day, there's a lot of advisors selling a lot of annuities. This is why we're hosting our latest free educational workshop, Don't Get Stuck in the Wrong Annuity, on July 28th and August 4th at noon and 6 p.m. in our Lexington office. You'll learn the pros and cons of annuities and how to be sure that the annuity you're considering is right for you. To register, log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com or call 877-499-9255.
Well, talking about knowledge of annuities, right now let's go to our annuity specialist in our Bowling Green office, Ms. Heather Hughes, and learn how we at Tony Walker Financial can help you figure out which annuity is right for you. Well, good morning, Heather, and thank you once again for being with us. And our topic today is income annuities. So if you would maybe briefly describe the difference between the accumulation annuities, how we go about researching those, and of course what we refer to as income annuities, those annuities which produce that beloved mailbox money I'm always talking about.
Happy to. So yeah, accumulation annuities, which I think you talked about last week, really focused on gaining credits for long-term savings. Income annuities are a little bit different animal. You know, the real purpose of those is providing that mailbox money you talk about so often. So a lifetime income. And those are really focused on what's called the income rider inside the annuity.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, one of the things that's, I guess, frustrating, quite frankly, because we see a lot of these people that run out and quickly buy these annuities, advertising 6, 7, 8%. There's a company out there that people sell a lot of. It's a 4% no-fee annuity, income rider, and people really get confused thinking that's like a bank yield. So kind of share with the audience what they need to be careful of and understand the difference between a 6 or 7% income rider and maybe a bank CD getting 3% or whatever it might be.
Sure. So, you know, typically there's going to be two values that the annuity company tracks for you. The accumulation or contract value, you can look to that for any kind of penalty-free withdrawals, or that's your death benefit typically. The income account value, that's the one that's associated to the income rider. So the income rider, based on the income account value, typically on some contracts have a guaranteed growth rate, which could be, you know, between 4 and 6, 7%. That's not a walk-away figure, though. The only way to really access those funds is through taking a lifetime income amount.
Correct. And I think that's one of the things we're kind of known for is just being able to distinguish the importance of an accumulation versus an income product. We won't name the software, but we've just got some wonderful proprietary software too. Tell people what we do as fiduciaries when we get a client and put a game plan together and how we research which annuity company and their products is going to pay the highest income for that particular situation.
Oh, absolutely. Well, first it starts with, you know, just talking with the client. So what are their goals for their money? You know, are they needing additional income in retirement? If so, that's when we kind of start looking through our software to see what would be the best beneficial annuity for them. You know, we'll go through, we've got some software that analyzes different contracts between carriers. And then plus we've got our proprietary planning software that we can lay out a game plan, and so they can see how that annuity is going to work for them in the future.
Well, Heather, as always, excellent information. Thank you so much for the work you do and all the research you do on all the many companies and insurance companies and annuities we represent. So you get back to work and you make it a good one. Thanks again.
Thanks, Tony.
You're welcome. Looking to roll over your 401k? Then log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and learn just how easy it is to roll over and safeguard your 401k. Do it today.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Worry Free Retirement. I am America's favorite financial sidekick, Mr. Aaron Orender, and I just want to remind you, if you want to listen to past radio shows, all you got to do is go to SoundCloud.com, and just type in the Worry Free Retirement right there in the search bar. And when you do, click search, and you'll see the bobblehead. You're going to find all of our past radio shows. Now, if you'd rather watch the TV show, but, just missed it or want to go back and watch some previous ones, no problem. All you got to do is go to YouTube.com, that's YouTube.com, and type in Tony Walker Financial right there in the search bar. When you do, click search, and you'll see Tony's smiling face. Just click right there, and you're going to find not only past episodes, you're going to find all types of media content.
Thank you very much, Aaron. And so let's kick this off in case you're just now joining us. I've got to get your attention a little bit. So we're talking about all these internet pop-up ads, the dinner seminar folks you're going to be probably hearing more about. By the way, if you do get a dinner seminar ad, my those postcards in the mail, Ma Jo, as we affectionately call my mom, she saves them for me. Did you know she saves these things for me?
Oh, I've gone over there and looked at them. Yeah, I've scouted it all out.
Well, she gets 3 or 4 a week.
Yeah, she's prime audience. Well, at this point, she may be a little past what they're really looking for, but
yeah,
she's still on the list.
Oh, yeah. And every one of them, so folks, make note of this. If you see a dinner seminar invitation that says something to this effect, learn how to not outlive your money, or learn how to participate in the stock market with no risk, folks, they are going to be talking about annuities. So why in the world wouldn't you want to learn the truth about annuities? So maybe you have talked to somebody about annuities, and now I'm grabbing this article out from Kiplinger's. Let's see, what was the date of this? That came out recently, whatever. It's a Kiplinger article, and its title is this: 7% on a fixed indexed annuity? ? Don't believe it. Now, listen to the subtitle, though. And then we'll tie this back into my analogy of me at 5'9", 190 pounds running a 4.440 with a little help from some wind and some downhill. And what other else did you mention in my...
the airport...
the escalator.
The scooters,
the
whatever they are.
Yeah. So look at what this particular article says underneath. Don't believe it. Ads touting 7% guarantees are misleading, though not quite false. That doesn't even make sense. So really what they're admitting, we're going to show this to you, Kiplinger's is afraid to tell you not to do it because Kiplinger's, although they're an investment company, investment magazine or whatever, they have an investment bent, they know what we at Tony Walker Financial know, but the investment world doesn't want to admit. There is only one financial tool, there's the key word, that is guaranteed to last as long as you do. Would you agree with that, Wes? There's nothing else guaranteed.
No, pretty much only one.
So what they're talking about is this 7% income rider. So let me explain what the income rider is first. And by the way, Wes, one of your functions is to do resets. I'm going to explain the income rider, and then you explain a reset, because some of our listening audience may have annuities that they're getting these letters and it says, do you want to reset your rate of return on your income rider? So here's what an income rider is. The best way to describe an income rider on an annuity is, remember folks, that an annuity is an insurance product. You have to buy them from insurance companies. Now, I always like to use this analogy, Wes. Let's say you go to an insurance company and you want to insure your home. You buy a homeowner's policy, right?
Sure.
Okay. And the contract says that, let's say you have a really nice watch, a $10,000 watch. The contract says if that watch is stolen, you're only covered up to $500 based on the regular premium. Well, that's not enough coverage, is it?
So you'd probably have to throw a rider on there for that watch, right?
Bingo. So the rider is put on there. First of all, it's going to require an additional premium, right? These riders, these 7% guaranteed income riders do come with fees. But why would the insurance company have to charge an extra premium? Didn't their risk go up?
Right. Well, they're only underwriting the risk of your home.
Right.
Getting, a fire damage or somebody breaking a window or something. They haven't factored in the cost of that watch if it were to get stolen.
That's right. Very good. So with insurance companies, although you can annuitize a fixed accumulation annuity, what these insurance companies did some 10 years ago, by the way, Kiplinger wrote this article in 2020. We've been talking about these products for years. So that's the only problem, too. A lot of these people come into the fray way late. We have experienced these products. We know them very, very well. So, again, you're talking to somebody that truly understands them, not just writes articles about them. There's a big difference. But so what happens is when they add these income riders, when they tell you, Wes, hey, Wes, we're going to guarantee you 7% on your money, there is a catch.
Got to be.
And that catch is they're only going to guarantee it for so long, the return, okay? And they are going to have to charge you an extra premium for the rider. Now, generally, those guaranteed rates are about 7 to 10 years. So explain to the audience what happens, because the fee is set for that period of time. Let's say somebody's had this income rider and they haven't exercised their mailbox money, and it's grown at 7%, and they're all excited. What is reset? What do they get in the mail from these insurance companies?
So once you reach the end of your income period, they'll guarantee that roll-up rate is what they call it. So that guaranteed, let's say 7%, they'll guarantee that for, we'll say 5 years. At the end of that 5 years, you'll have to reset that income rider by sending them in a form or giving them a call, just saying, hey, it's okay to reset that rider. What may happen is they may increase your fee for that income rider. A lot of times it stays the same, but they might increase that fee just knowing they're going to have to pay out more money in the future.
That's a very good description. So, Tony, go back to that comment, though, that you said sometimes it could happen. How in the world, if insurance companies are only paying about 2 to 3% on a fixed annuity, how can they make these guarantees? Well, first of all, you got to remember, folks, an income rider, that 7% account, is only for you and or your partner. Whenever you or your partner both are deceased, whatever's in that income pot is gone. It's vanished. So there may not be anything left at death. So what you're thinking when you see that, I know what you're thinking because you've come in and you've bought these products and you get upset with me when I tell you that's not what you got, but it is what you got. You thought you were getting like a 7% yield. So in other words, you give a insurance company $200,000 and you make, what would that be, $14,000 a year. Mm-hmm. Well, if you die, you thought, well, just all that money goes to my family. And it doesn't work that way. It's only the income rider that's used to calculate your income. The contract value or the death benefit could be something totally different and is usually much less. Now, so let me back up my claim, though, kind of what we were talking about with old 61-year-old Tony at 5'9", 190 pounds running a 4.440 with the help of wind and the downhill escalator and downhill, all that good stuff. Actually, back in my day, I could almost hit that. I was about a 4.640.
I've heard some legends about your speed back in the 60s and 70s.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. If I took off running right now, there's no telling. You probably just go and take me off to the funeral. I'd probably kill myself if I even tried to sprint. I've got a client in his late 60s, and he participates in these senior Olympics. And he said he's never stopped racing. He does the 100-meter. I can't remember his time, but he's fast. But I've heard that if you will keep your body going, doing the same thing it's always done, you can do wonders.
Have you kept that going through all these
years?
No, it's okay. So I wouldn't try it. Yeah,
no, but if I would have kept running, I don't know. I could do a 4.640, but anyway, maybe a 5.640. But
there you go.
So, but let's think about this, Wes. We focused on someone. Aaron, what was the name of the young lady that recently passed away that we featured on the TV show?
That was Miss Hester Ford.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. I always forget her name. So we focused on a Hester Ford who recently passed away, Wes. Did you catch that show? Did you catch how old she was when she passed away?
About 116, something like that. There you go. 116, yeah.
Okay, so let's back up. Let's say Hester Ford had one of these income annuities. She had put, let's say, $300,000 in at age 60. She gets to age 70. Let's say it's a 7% income rider. So that means her account would have doubled mathematically. So her income account would be $600,000. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she says, all right, Tony, I want some mailbox money. Obviously, we didn't have an annuity on Hester Ford, folks. I'm just giving you an example of how this return works. So when she starts her income, if she was single, let's imagine the payout factor is 6%, okay, at that age. So you would take $600,000 times 6%. Well, that's $36,000 a year. Remember, she only put in $300,000.
Mm-hmm. That's going to pay out very quickly. But the good thing is it's guaranteed for life.
That's right. So think about that, folks. If you take Miss Ford's age of 116, think about this, minus 70, that's 46 years of $36,000. I mean, that is a huge...
Far and beyond the $600,000
crazy
value.
Well, far and beyond the $300,000 she originally put in. Remember, to calculate rate of return, we got to know the present.
So her contract value completely exhausted by far at her age, 116.
But she's getting all this money. So in that example, here's the point, folks. Whenever you see these large rates of return on these guaranteed annuities of 6%, 7%, 8%, mark this down, write this down. The only way to ever really know how much your rate of return was, okay, that's called a rate of return, was to take the income, pay it out, and then when you and or your partner die, you'd have to have somebody like us go back and calculate the rate of return. That's the only way to know. Now, it's probably not going to be 7%. You'd have to live to 116. So what you have to understand, the 7%, now why is that attractive? Well, we use these income riders all the time. Why do we like those? We like those because when we're doing income planning, when we juxtapose those types of annuities with several different types of annuities, we don't use just income annuities, we use a lot of them. We also couple those with our Charles Schwab platform. Now, Wes, you've been with us how long?
Let's see, about a little over a year and a half.
Okay, and you see how well that thing works. It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
Had a gentleman in today, he had 2 annuities, his Schwab account's running down, he had his 10% penalty-free withdrawals. I said, Mr. Jones, we can take $50,000, move it over to Schwab, reload that bucket, no cost, no taxes to reload it. He was shocked.
No surrender charges on the annuity either, yeah.
Yeah, so the problem is, folks, many of you, the reason you're afraid of these annuities and you're reading articles that are scaring you to death, again, the people writing the articles don't understand income planning. You don't put all of your money in one annuity. I don't care if it's paying 20%. That would be ridiculous. So you have to have a retirement specialist, a fiduciary that understands income planning, like we do at Tony Walker Financial, also understands how to use investments properly and how to use the right annuity that's right for you, which leads to my next point, my favorite nephew. Now, this is just in Lexington. We're going to try this because he is based out of the Lexington office. Tell the folks, especially in the Lexington area, maybe even Bardstown may want to ride down, what you've got coming up there for people who either own a current annuity or thinking about buying an annuity.
Sure. So got the, what we're going to call them is the Don't Get Stuck in the Wrong Annuity workshops. So as all these people are pitching annuities at dinner seminars, people are Googling around looking at ads for annuities, it's important to not get stuck in the wrong kind of product. So what we've done is we've put together 4 workshop times. So the first of which will be Wednesday, July 28th at our Lexington office. That's at 2333 Alexandria Drive there in Lexington at 12 p.m. So high noon and 6 p.m. that day. That's Wednesday.
Same information, just different times.
Yeah, just different time slots. Wednesday, July 28th, 12 and 6, and then the next week we'll do the same thing, Wednesday, August 4th at noon and 6 p.m. And if you do want to register for that, you can log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com or call 877-499-9255 and just let probably Shanna know that you'd like to register for the Don't Get Stuck in the Wrong Annuity workshop in Lexington.
And we'll provide you free information, my free booklet. Let me repeat that information because, folks, this is really good stuff. If you're retired, nearing retirement, maybe you got a bunch of money languishing in the bank. Wes is right. What we've learned over time, a lot of people have purchased the wrong annuities, and man, if you get the wrong one, you are stuck. So to register for Wes's workshop there in Lexington, more information, go to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. That should be under the educational opportunities. You could even put educational opportunities in the download section there or in the space bar in the middle. Or call us at 877-499-9255. Again, it's absolutely free. In the meantime, if you're saying, well, Tony, I can't really go to a workshop partner right now, but I would love to talk to you about my situation. Maybe you're retired, retiring soon, have a former 401k you need to roll over. Just meet with a fiduciary you can trust. Feel free to log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. What you'll do is click on that Let's Get Started button. That doesn't obligate you to anything. It's absolutely free. And you'll be talking to me in person over the phone, or I'll be happy if it warrants to meet with you personally at either our Bowling Green, Louisville, or Lexington, Kentucky offices. TonyWalkerFinancial.com, or give us a call at 877-499-9255. Well, we hope you've enjoyed today's program. Next week, we're going to show you how to take more control of your money by doing something that most people forget to do, and that's trying to deal with this darn tax tumor inside your 401k plan. But you remember, between now and then, if all else fails, you be worry-free.